Internet trolls are an interesting breed. You see, over the past couple weeks, I made reference to the Gerson therapy. It's a natural healing modality in various talks and videos of mine, and these pesky internet trolls, whatever their motive is, have tried to use this as a way to discredit me. Keyword, try. Really what they're doing is making themselves look like blithering idiots that don't have any idea of what they're talking about. So in this video, we're going to talk about the Gerson therapy. We're going to make them look like fools, and hopefully I'm going to offer you some information that could potentially change your life. It could and should if you don't know about the Gerson therapy. So let's talk about it. What is it? It's probably one of my favorite alternative healing methods to talk about because of how comprehensive it is. It really goes for the root cause of degenerative disease, and that is nutrition and toxicity. First of all, nutrition. There is a lot of different nutrients that your body requires to function, not just wants to function. It's not like it'll help a little bit. They need them. It's like gas in your car. Your body is a machine. It's not going to work without the proper fluids, proper compounds it needs to operate on. So you have a bunch of essential fatty acids, you have essential amino acids, you have enzymes, probiotics, all kinds of different vitamins and minerals and trace minerals, etc., etc. So what the Gerson therapy does is that it floods your body with a shitload of these micronutrients. And number two, toxicity. Again, enough can't be said about how many toxins there are in our environment that we inject into us, that we willingly and unknowingly spread all over our bodies, that are sprayed over our heads, that we eat and drink, etc., etc. I think the EPA has somewhere of like 70 to 80,000 registered industrial carcinogens. Carcinogen meaning cancer causing. And these are just the registered ones. I'm sure there's tons of them they don't register, probably because they don't want to. So malnutrition and toxicity. The Gerson therapy truly goes for those two things. And even if you just understand that basic concept of nutrients and toxicity and apply that to your life without even doing a official Gerson therapy diet, it'll just help you a whole bunch. That's why this is one of my favorite things to talk about, just because of that concept right there. Eat for nutrients. Micronutrients. Don't eat for protein, fat, carbs. Eat for vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, trace minerals, etc. You'll be a whole lot healthier, higher functioning, higher performing. And then really be conscious of the toxins in your environment, how you're living, chemical toxins, electromagnetic toxins, various other detrimental things. Again. But now let's talk about Dr. Max Gerson. So Dr. Max Gerson, the formulator of this Gerson therapy, was a doctor who was born in early 1900s, I think late 1800s actually, in Europe. And in the early 1900s, he began studying soil, actually, when he was in grade school and as he went to college. He was fascinated with soil. And he studied how plants needed, back to the nutrition and toxicity, the right nutrients and the right kind of soil conditions to become healthy plants. He was also interested in the health of the human being, so he took his study of the soil and then began applying it to the human as he went into later stages of college. He went into health and medicine study, and he really began applying these concepts to the human. Now, while he was studying and in the early stages of practicing as a doctor, he created a diet to heal his own migraines. He had debilitating migraines. And he began playing around, experimenting with his own self, and found a particular diet that made his migraines go away. And he was like, this made my migraines go away. What if I tried it on some other things? And he began experimenting with patients who were basically the throwaway patients, where mainstream medicine, the other doctors who were practicing more allopathy, drug-based medicine, rather than his diet-based medicine, they were all the throwaways that wouldn't work with allopathy. He took them in and he used this diet with the people who were gonna die and found great success with it. Again, wow, it's healed that person's kidney issues, it healed that person's, this disease, that disease. And it got to a point where he began experimenting with his diet so much. That's a thing these days. So many doctors and scientists are caught up in theory and all this jargon when they don't actually practice or apply anymore. Well, Gerson was applying, and he began applying his diet to skin tuberculosis. Now, this was a point in the 1920s and early 30s where skin tuberculosis was rampant and there was no known cure for it at the time. So Dr. Gerson essentially healed skin tuberculosis with his diet, and the word began spreading. And eventually the word got to a man named Dr. Albert Schweitzer. You see, this was very important because Dr. Albert Schweitzer was a very renowned doctor. He actually won a Nobel Prize. And Dr. Gerson used his diet to heal Dr. Albert Schweitzer's wife of skin TB. And then Dr. Albert Schweitzer was like, holy crap, he tried the diet. I think it got rid of his, I think he had migraines too. Got rid of Schweitzer's migraines. But this essentially created a huge popularity boom with Dr. Max Gerson because a bunch of journals began publishing his diet. It could heal skin TB. I think it became the world's first documented cure for skin tuberculosis. And he also gained a lifelong friend in a Nobel Prize winning Dr. Albert Schweitzer. So early 30s, boom, his diet became wildly successful. He perfected it. But also in the 1930s, we had World War II going on in Europe. So Dr. Gerson immigrated to America mid-late 1930s to escape the Nazis over there in Germany. And once he got into America, he began practicing as a doctor in New York, got his license, opened a clinic, began using his diet with patients, and again, the word spread again. But of course, over here in America, during the 1940s, we had the American Mafia Association, Medical Association, whichever one it is. They began, of course, expanding their tentacles of control, and people began hearing about Dr. Max Gerson's diet and what he was doing, and the big pharma eyes were on him, and they vilified him. They pulled his license, they prevented him from publishing his research, and he was just suppressed, he was persecuted. Now, funny enough, though, during this time, Dr. Max Gerson even testified in front of Congress. He brought some of his patients to a congressional subcommittee and said, hey guys, look at here. I freaking healed these people that mainstream medicine said was going to die with just freaking fruits and vegetables and soups and a diet. Something so simple, so easy. Well, of course, you know, the deep state, the FDA, big pharma, medical mafia still didn't budge. And with control of the media, of course, by the same entities, word of that went nowhere. And turns out Dr. Max Gerson ended up passing away, I believe in 1958, mid to late 50s. And according to some reports, they found arsenic in his blood when he passed away. So don't know if this is a case of deep state suiciding, but you can connect the dots. And of course, it's plausible, probable, yes and yes. So that's the life of Dr. Max Gerson, how he went about formulating this diet and spreading it and getting it popular, and of course, his ultimate demise. Now, we still have a lot of people carrying on his legacy. We'll talk about that in a sec, but I just want to make a couple notes about what exactly this diet consists of. So number one, lots and lots of juicing. If you're in dire stages of degenerative disease, we're talking a lot of juice, like pounds of carrot juice a day, and a whole host of other different soup recipes and a lot of raw foods, because of course raw food carries much more life force to you, much more electricity to you than cooked vegetables do. But cooking unlocks some enzymatic activity in food, so there's a mixture of some cooked foods, some raw foods, but like I said, lots of it, flooding your body with all those micronutrients, helping your body detoxify itself. Number two, speaking of those toxins, no alcohol, no tobacco, I believe it's no caffeine as well, really any kind of toxins or poisons going into your body. So that's why this therapy is great, because you become conscious and aware of your lifestyle, right? What kind of hygiene products you're using, what kind of other fumes you're around, or what you're doing to your environment, etc., etc. So you really become aware. That's what I like to say sometimes. The cure to cancer is awareness. That's it. And then third, coffee enemas in dire stages. So coffee enema meaning, yes, coffee up your rectum. Butt coffee, ass coffee, as some people like to say. But this isn't something to ridicule, because if you actually study the science behind it, if you take a coffee enema, literally just brew it, use organic, and put it up there, it stimulates the bile production in your liver, and it's like a flush for your liver. So it's one of the most detoxifying things that you can do for yourself, is the caffeine not having to go through your digestive tract, but straight into your liver, flushes it out. Now, of course, you can do this diet without shoving coffee up your butt, or put elements of this therapy into practicing your own life, again, without shoving coffee up your ass. But let's just say if you have stage 4 cancer and nothing else is working and you're gonna die, hell yeah, I would shove coffee up my ass. I think you would too. And then lastly, let's talk about some of what you can learn more about in regards to the Gerson therapy and people carrying on the legacy of Max Gerson. So Charlotte Gerson, who's actually Dr. Max Gerson's daughter, I believe. She is still alive. She's written some books carrying on her father's legacy. She actually has a clinic down in Mexico. Of course, in America, it's very difficult to practice these sorts of things, but down in Mexico and in other countries, you often can. So she has a clinic in Mexico you can check out. You can learn more about the Gerson therapy in some books. There's a good one called Healing the Hopeless, which I've read, and then Healing the Gerson Way, which I have. This one was written by Charlotte Gerson herself. So both great books. Healing the Hopeless is more about Gerson's life and the history of the therapy. Healing the Gerson Way by Charlotte Gerson is more about the actual recipes and nitty-gritty about the therapy itself. And then Documentaries, a couple great ones. Dying to Have Known, play on words there. Pretty morbid, but good play on words. Dying to Have Known. This is an old school, I think it's made in the 90s or early 2000s, but it's a great documentary about a journalist going through asking even some Western doctors about this. The Western doctors say, oh, it's crazy. But then the documentary gives you examples of this diet working. And then The Beautiful Truth is another one that's good as well. I'll see if I can find these for free on YouTube or something like that and link them down below. But anyway, that's it on the Gerson therapy, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope you begin putting some of these ideas into your own life so you can become a stronger, healthier, smarter, more intelligent human being. And I'll see you soon. That's it for this one. Take care.